Alright, so I thought it might be helpful for some people if I made a simple guide on how to get 20 decks in Act 1, and obviously this will carry through the rest of the game if you choose to keep the gear. So there are 3 steps. Step 1 is to get 17 decks through your character creation or a respec. So you can do that if you didn't create a character with 17 decks. You can get the respec from a guy called Withers, and you need to go inside of this building here. There's a crane here, you can kind of see it on the map, and there's like a thing hanging from it. You can break that thing, it'll fall, create a hole, and then you can drop down that hole. Once you're inside the crypt, you will be inside of like a little room. As you exit the room, there's going to be a door just slightly in front and to the left of where you exit, and you want to go in there, take the next left, and Withers will be hidden in the back of that room inside of a coffin. And if that's not specific enough, then you can find loads of guides. This is not a video about how to find Withers. This is a video about how to get 20 decks. So once you have him, he'll go to your camp and you can pay 100 money to respec, and you can get your 17 base dexterity. Once you've got 17 dexterity, the next step is to reach 18 dexterity, and you can do that by going, following the quest line for Auntie Ethel. You begin the quest line in the Emerald Grove, which is the main city. Inside of this tent, there's going to be an old lady, and you can speak to her, tell her that you've got a fucking worm in your head and that you need help with it. And she will tell you to come into her house in the woods, which is down here. Her house is right here. And when you get there, you'll see that she's a hag, and you'll want to fight her. And so if you just pursue her into her cave and fight her, and you need to do something very specific actually. So when you're fighting her, you want to have all your characters far away from her, and you want to have your character you want the 20 decks on to be the closest. And I'm not sure if all of this matters, but this is just to be safe, right? Have them be the closest and have them deal the blow that will put her under 20 health. It might even be under 30 health, I'm not sure, but not kill her. Okay, that's important. She can't die, she can't get knocked out. You have to get her to low health, sub 30 or sub 20, and still be alive. That's going to trigger a conversation with Auntie Ethel, and at the end of that conversation, if you tell her that you want the power she's offering, she will give you a piece of her hair, and it's like a disgusting green, pustulent piece of hair. And if you eat that shit, then you will get +1 to an attribute of your choice. Obviously, here we're picking Dex. So that's that. Watch a guide about the specific anti-ethel thing if you need more information about that. Pretty much that's how it works. Just drop a quick save before you do it, in case you fuck it up, and reload the quick save if you fuck it up. It's really easy. I got it on my first try without even knowing how it worked. It shouldn't be a problem. From there, so at this point we've got 18 decks. The next 2 decks we get from an item. So this is not, and sorry, something more about the anti-ethel, hair juice. That's going to be permanent. So when you eat that piece of hair, you'll get 18 decks forever. You can respec, it'll just stay. But this next piece is going to be active only while you're wearing the item. And the item is the Graceful cloth. And this gives +2 dex, which brings us to 20. And so this item you can get by going into the mountain pass. Now the mountain pass is in Act 1, and there are 2 entrances. So entrance 1 is over here. It's actually this bridge. The icon is here, but it's this bridge. And this is going to be more difficult. There's, pretty strong enemies waiting for you here, but you can just sneak past them if you want to. You might need to like jump or teleport and stuff, but you can figure it out. There is an easier entrance though, which is the one down here. So if you see here, I'm south of the goblin camp, and it looks like the only way here is through the goblin camp, but that's not true. You can go through this kind of dark area. There is a path you can jump through, and there are enemies, but they're just, pretty weak goblins. So this is definitely the easier entrance. And once you reach this point here, be careful as well. I think there are traps along the way. But once you reach this entrance here, you will be able to travel to the mountain pass. Sorry, and the mountain pass is just an area within Act 1, and so you can travel to and from it freely. It won't trigger Act 2. I know that the game, to me at least, made it sound like it was a part of Act 2, but it's just not. So once you're inside of that area, I'm going to teleport there real quick. Alright, so once you get into this zone, what you want to do is come down here. I'll show you where this is on the map. So if you cross the bridge, this is where you're going to land. And if you come through the like goblin part, this is where you're going to land. Either way, you want to work your way up north, which is the only route you can really go. And once you reach the waypoints, you want to go to the east, like northeast, and then immediately south as soon as possible. And you can see that's her bed there, and she's going to stand like in front of it. So you can see that corpse, that's Lady Esther, which is completely different from the hag. I'm confused now. Her name is like, I forget what her name is. It's similar, right? It's Esther, and are they both called Esther? Anyway, so you come down here and you can kill her, or you can trade her, or pickpocket her. And what you want from her is the Graceful cloth, which gives you +2 to Dex. She'll give you a quest as well. I'm not gonna talk about that, but you can do this regardless of the quest. I would recommend doing it before the quest, but if you choose not to do that, drop a quick save, I guess, before you finish the quest with her, just in case that ruins the item for you. So yeah, once you get this item, you can equip it, and that will get you to 20. Obviously, if I take this off, I'm back down to 18. But the truth is, as far as like, chest plates go, not too many chest plates are going to give you an like offensive bonus. So this is a pretty good one, even in the end game, I feel. And especially when we're talking about like stealth, dex, like stealthy characters. Um, I'm running a one-shot solo build here where I kill enemies before they get a turn. So I have no, my constitution is 10. I have no reason to worry about my AC because they don't even get to swing at me. If you're playing a build like that, then this is perfect. It really doesn't matter what your AC is. But if you want it to be tanky and have 20 dex, then I recognize this is maybe not the best item for you, and down the line you might want to switch that out. But by then you could get, +2 through a feat if you really wanted to. It's up to you at that point. Now there is one more item I wanted to talk about, which is these gloves, the gloves of dexterity. And these gloves give you, they set or they increase your dex to 18. Really, they set your dex to 18 pretty much is how it works because um, they will not synergize with the Graceful Cloth. So here's an example. You have 8 dexterity, right? You just the bare minimum. You equip these gloves, which increases your dex to 18. Awesome. And then you equip this dress or whatever this is, and it gives you another +2. Well, instead of the game saying 18 plus 2 is 20, what it's going to say is 8 plus 2 is 10. I have these gloves, so increase it to 18. And so you don't reach 20. And it doesn't matter what order you do things in. It's with these gloves you will hit 18 unless you hit more thanks to your attributes, right? So I already have 18 base thanks to doing the anti-ethel and the respec, and so with this I hit 20. The only reason I wear these gloves is for the +1 to attack, because that's still my best in slot. But the gloves aren't giving me anything for dex. These gloves are great though for people who don't want to wear this piece of armor and who don't have a better slot, item for their hands. Because if this +1 to attack is good for you, then you could respec all of your dex points into other slots. So you could have 8 dex and put everything else elsewhere, and then just equip these gloves and you're sitting at 18 anyway, right? So I just wanted to mention these as kind of an honorable mention for good dex gear in Act 1. And you can get these gloves inside of this area here. You see there's the creche, and if you enter the creche, let me see if yeah, so if I teleport to that, I should be inside the creche and I can show you where the vendor is. So inside the creche, the vendor is down here, right next to the waypoint, just south. I've killed everyone, but I can show you the corpse of the vendor. This is the vendor here. Ajak near Jira. And so, you can kill her or pickpocket her or trade her and you'll get the item. Actually, I don't think I looted this chest. Ignore my cat, she's in heat, if you can hear that. And yeah, that's the item. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, just, ask away. And I'll do my best to reply. And hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Good luck.